Here comes Uncle Tong complaining about millennials again. You kids these days, you got a lot more things compared to when I started working. You got your internet lah, then your social WhatsApps lah, then your cars even got airbag and touchscreen TV oh. When last time I got my first car, which is it's a cheap kanjel, we don't got seat belts or no one thing that give warning one. You're so leceh. Now all your kids can learn automatic oh. Last time when I take the driving I had to retake multiple times because I failed at the 3-point turn. You know that one damn susah eh. Then now you got sensor so easy and then all like to complain one. You think these days are so easy. 2014 Perodua Axia, the official car for simple people who wanted a car that is small but with all the gadgets that you want, i.e. a car made for female drivers in mind. Because of course, sexism dictates that females wanted a car small enough to zip around the city and dent others in parallel parking. Ha ha ha, bad lady driver joke, ha ha. The Axia is actually more than a car that is designed for women in mind. Sure, it has some features that are more related to those with two X chromosomes, like a vanity mirror on the driver's side and a handbag holder on the passenger seat. But make no mistake, despite the gender conformity the car holds, it is still a car. It's not a living thing, and therefore it has no gender from its conception from the factory in Serinda. Perodua's MO was always about bringing entry-level cars to the masses, regardless of gender. The Kancil, which came out 25 years ago, brought simple basic transport to mass Malaysians, and it was immensely popular, beloved by men and women, young and old, town folks and country folks. It was the essential first car to be driven officially by 90s kids because who has never spent hours driving around the school driving course practicing in the tiny thing. Of course, when the Kancil was subsequently replaced by the Viva, suddenly Perodua saw a gender shift in their basic model buyer base. They were mostly women and from big cities like KL, where maneuverability is king or queen. So Perodua launched a few special Viva models that were designed for women in mind. The Viva even had a sort of feminine charm to it. Then, when Perodua launched the Axia, they set their minds to it that the successor should also be feminine too. Well, the Axia is honestly a big step up from the Viva. Remove all that stereotype and you see that the Axia is actually a fun car to drive. More importantly, it is far more stable than the Viva. It's literally like night and day between these two. The Viva felt like a rebodied Kancil with a more modern engine, while the Axia, on the other hand, wasn't a problem even on the highways. Of course, it would take time to accelerate, but that's not quite a complaint, especially when you have a 3-cylinder 1-liter engine. Yes, the Viva was light and the Axia's 1-liter engine is far more powerful than the Viva, so it wins a lot more. Then again, the Axia brought Perodua into a whole new direction. You see, the old Peroduas from years before the Axia was launched were all based on the Japanese Daihatsu models. With the Axia, while it was based on a Daihatsu, it wasn't Japanese, but rather Indonesian. To be precise, it was based on the Daihatsu Ayla. Daihatsu Astra Indonesia and Daihatsu Japan are completely different markets. One favors cheap, durable cars that can weather any road conditions, and the other favors cheap, durable cars that can handle any city conditions. Now, which resemble Malaysia more? With Perodua now looking south to their neighbours rather than the east, the result is a car that better handled Malaysia's pothole roads while also remaining cheap to own and maintain. The owner got this Axia when it was launched in 2014 and the Advance was the highest spec model and it cost a little under 50,000 ringgit. For that amount of tech that she has on a little car, like front sensors, a touch screen with sat-nav and Bluetooth, ABS, a couple of airbags, it sounded like a good deal. Then, like all first batch Malaysian cars, the problems and minor issues come in. Now these may seem like first world problems, but not having a boot handle for a hatchback in 2014-2015 is a bit of a no-no. Latest facelifts offer the handle for the boot, but it should be something that was offered from the get-go. And then there's the front sensors. During its launch, it was the cheapest car to actually have front sensors. I know some Westerners might be like scoffing, but that is pretty much revolutionary back in 2014. You can't shut them off. When the owner got it new, those sensors were very sensitive. Now I get it that it's helpful to as a safety feature when you're parking, but you might want to change your tune when it beeps every fucking time a motorcyclist weave in and out near you. The owner sent it to the workshop and now it only beeps when you lift off the emergency parking brake, and obviously when you're parking. So does the Axia mean cheap is cheerful? Yes, it actually does. Gone were the days when owning a cheap car only means misery and shit. The Axia isn't a miserable little city car, and with all the equipment and that price, no wonder Perodua is number one in Malaysia. Of course, not with the Axia, but still, it's pretty much a big seller. There's a new facelifted version with a full jack-up crossover model called the Style, which is designed for women drivers. The Axia and its adorable nature shouldn't be called a girly car because of its capabilities. Rather, it's a car for the gender-confirming youths of today, the Perodua Axia, the official car for Generation Z.